Hey, what's up, guys? Jared here with Bitumio again. Today we're going to talk about creating a proposal for asphalt paving products. So this is a little bit different than the maintenance products because now we introduce the concept of trucking and how our trucking table works. And so this could be grading, this could be an X out, this could be new paving, etc. So let's jump in here. Again, basing this assumption off, you have some products created, you have equipment, you have crews, additional costs, all of that stuff created. We preload your account with some of this information so you can jump right in and start creating proposals and playing with this. Plants, transfer trucks, all of those things go into a given proposal. Once you set them up, you don't have to set them up every single time, and the proposal will just read those values. So let's jump in here and create a proposal. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Came from our internal sales team, and we're on our way. Again, the concept of stages, I've talked about this before. This could be a variation of options. So this is an X out in paving for 10,000 square feet. This is an X out in paving for 5,000 square feet. You give those options to the customer. They can choose and go with one or the other. This could be a different location. So maybe you're doing work for the same company or the same client at two different locations. So you can put both of them in the same proposal instead of having to create and manage two different proposals, etc., etc. There's lots of uses here. For now, I'm going to maintain my simplicity of parking lot. And I'm going to go to this local little commercial village that is not paved. And we're just going to define the area. Again, once we define that area, any products we add to this proposal going forward will zoom in right on that location. So here I'm going to do just a simple commercial asphalt product. We're going to measure this in tons per hour. So just like we did before on other proposals and other demos, we're going to come into this map. We're going to start measuring this area. And again, you can get as granular as you want. I'm just going to do kind of a simple measurement here. They want this whole area measured. I'm familiar with this area, so I kind of know where the curves are. So 11,299 square feet. Now we're going to save that. This goes into the job size. And now because we have all of those items, products, transfer trucks, etc., created, we're going to start running all of these calculations and conversions for you. So here we've got our crew production rate at 50 tons per hour. We've got an application rate or an asphalt depth of 3 inches. If we wanted to increase that to 4, we can bump that up to 4. That's obviously going to change our conversion factor. So at this job size, at this application rate or depth, right, we know that we need about 282 tons of asphalt. That's about 40 square feet per ton. Our production rate is 50 tons per hour, so this should take roughly 5 to 6 hours, 5.5 hours, knowing that we need 280 tons. Again, using Google Maps, we've got the address to the job that we defined up here in the proposal. In your organization settings, we have the address to your yard, so we can use Google Maps to calculate the travel time between the yard and the job. And now with this, we know a lot of things about the job based on the product. We know we need 282 tons pulling from this plant. This plant charges us $50 per ton. Okay, so we know that our material cost is going to be $14,000. I'm going to come back to let's talk about trucking now. So these are all of the transfer trucks that we've defined within our system, within our organization settings, okay? So because we know the travel time, because we know how many tons we need, now we can start to calculate how many trucks do I need to maintain a 50 tons per hour production rate at that location. So because this is a long ways away, 3.5 hours away, we're going to need quite a few trucks if we pull from this plant. So you can see a single truck that hauls 17 tons per truck. We're going to need about 10 trucks, 10 or 11 trucks, making 1.5 trips per truck to haul that many tons and maintaining a 50 tons per hour truck or production rate. At 30 tons per side dump, we need about 6. So we can come in here and edit this. If I rounded this up to 6, my cost goes up. I'm using more trucks over that same time period. My total trips goes down, right? So now you can start to see that depending on the capacity of a given truck, how much they can haul, how many trucks am I going to need for that type of truck, how many trips are they going to have to take, and what is my cost to utilize that type of truck to maintain that 50 tons per hour trucking rate. If I were to update this to 55, right, that goes to 5.9, it goes to 6.5 now. So if I were to up my production rate a little bit, right, so we can haul more, work a little bit faster, my cost goes down, right? So you can start to edit this table and manipulate it so that it's specific to that job and that location for those trucks that you're needing. So once I have this, let's say I'm going to use 6 truck and pups at $4,200. If I know that I want to add just a little bit of fluff in that to make sure I have enough, I can increase my rate a little bit here. And now I'm going to add this to the proposal. So now I've got my trucking cost, $4,700. My material cost was $14,000. So my total trucking and material cost is $18,800. We can remove this, add another one, etc. You can play with that as much as you want. Again, just like previous, here's the equipment that I defined. Every time I go to a paving job, these are the pieces of equipment that I want to add to that proposal. So I've got all of those added. And again, this does take into account the utilization percentage. So if my laser is only used 30% of the time, I'm only going to take 30% of the stage time to calculate that into the total. So you can tell that $25 times 3 plus 5, 9 hours, right, is not $117. So there's a utilization percentage calculated into here that maybe we only use this line laser 30% of the time or 40% of the time. Here's my asphalt crew. So my crew cost, travel time, stage time. And then here's the image of the map that I drew of the area that we're going to asphalt. So in this, I've drawn a box on a map, right, which Bitumio told you how big that was. It gets automatically added to the proposal. We ran all of the calculations. I played with my trucking table to make sure I had enough trucking cost within the proposal. Besides that, all of the calculations have been done for you based on your product settings. You can edit production rates, upper or raise them, lower them. You can change statements of work. You can change application rates or asphalt depth, etc. directly within here. But overall, we've come up with a job of $31,000 to lay asphalt across, what was that? 11,000 square feet of pavement. So pretty cool, pretty easy. The last thing here, you can look at, these are my direct costs that I have defined. These are overhead costs, indirect costs. Now keep in mind, this is a demo account. So some of the material costs or labor costs, trucking costs, right? They may not be spot on with what you're expecting. All of those are configurable within the product settings, within the plant settings, et cetera, et cetera. You define all of that so that once you get into the proposal and we run these calculations based on your settings, it's accurate to what you want to charge and your rate per square foot or per square yard or rate per ton. So direct costs, these are overhead costs defined at the product level, what percent you want to charge for overhead costs, what percent you want to charge for indirect costs. This is looking like it's a 10% overhead cost And this is a 5% indirect cost. So you've got your total cost, profit built into that. This is your profit margin, right? So profit margin is different than your markup percentage, which is defined up higher in the proposal. So your total. And then you can see some of your gross margins, operating margins, net margins, things like that. You can review this proposal to see how it looks, validate the numbers, add any sort of additional recipients you want to also receive and or sign the proposal. We've got the concept of a full and simple proposal. So a full proposal is going out to new customers, typically, that has all of your we are the best company in the world type language. So this is your sales proposal to win net new customers. At least that's how most people use it. The simple proposal is a scaled down version of that. So it's a summary table with terms and conditions and a signature block. And so simple proposal goes out to other contractors, subcontractors, or contractors that are subcontracting you that don't need to see all of the other text associated to the proposal, etc. So 2 different types. You can select these and then send away. Hopefully that was easy for you. Hopefully that was helpful. We have a lot of robust functionality determining how the job size, how many tons you need, what's your production rates, how to calculate your trucking, right, to make sure that you have enough trucking built into the proposal itself. And hope that was helpful. Thanks, guys.